Yo, this is a video where I talk about how I was almost in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You may have heard me allude to this story on the podcast or in other, maybe the Let's Play channel, but I don't think I've ever actually sat down and openly talked about what it was. I didn't even say it was Marvel. It's been about 5 years, and I figured, you know what? Let's just dive into this surreal sort of almost experience I had. Basically, 5 years ago, I got an email from a casting director asking me if I would be interested in auditioning for the then in development Squirrel Girl New Warriors TV show. This was a TV show that was going to be made for Freeform. The audition was for one of the main characters. I'm not a big Marvel comic book guy, but I believe the New Warriors are a group of heroes, and the character I was asked to audition for was Microbe. At the time, I didn't even have an agent. I was just living in Michigan at the time. And honestly, at first, I thought the email was just bullshit. I don't know. But I was like, okay, I'll respond to it. And it turned out it was a legit casting director. I decided to go for it. I taped myself doing the audition, sent it in, thinking nothing's gonna happen from this. But then, about a month later, I was told that I was in the mix for potentially continuing on in the process, which was a surprise to me, but I was like, okay. And then I was told that I was going to be flying out to California to do the test in front of executives. I was like, okay, let's, sure, why not? So, yeah, I was flown out by ABC. At this point, I believe there were about 3 people left for each role. So I had gotten up to this phase of, 3 people for each part, and it was very awkward sitting there meeting the other people and realizing, because it was all the actors for, maybe not all the actors, but a lot of the actors for a lot of the parts were there, including some of the actors who were going for my part. It was a weird atmosphere, but yeah, I went in, did a couple different scene reads, and they also wanted improv, so I improvised with first I did my scene by myself, and then I did I think I was matched up with 1 or 2 actors. I think 1 actor to do an improvised scene, and it got laughs, and it seemed like it did pretty well. I figured, okay, that was kind of cool. I mean, maybe this will happen, who knows? And then I flew back home to Michigan. I found out shortly afterward that at that point they had narrowed everyone down to 2 people. So it was me and 1 other actor for the part. Now, for those of you who aren't aware, this show, New Warriors, was supposed to be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, much like, how Daredevil and all those Netflix shows were. I mean, they also had Runaways produced and Cloak and Dagger. And New Warriors was slated to be a full season run, and I had to get a entertainment lawyer to help navigate the terrifying contract. And yeah, I was basically like, even though I wasn't even chosen yet, the fact that I was in the running meant I had to sign these contracts early, and yeah, it was a big to-do. So yeah, when I got home and went and found out there was only 1 other guy and me, I was like, oh shit, I guess here we go. And then some time passes, and then I get a text from the casting director saying they thought you were great, they thought you were really funny, but because they were casting a taller actress, they thought it'd be funnier to go with the shorter actor. So I guess officially I'm too tall for Marvel. I don't know. I guess I can put that on my resume. Of course, not to diminish the talent of the other actor who I am familiar with, and, you know, he's a very good actor. So that wasn't, of course, the only factor, but I was told that in the text. And it definitely bumped me out. I was like, cool. So live action, a lot of it really depends on factors out of your control. I mean, you have to be good enough to get to a certain point, but even your height can go against you, which, you know, a lot of live action actors know, but as a voice actor, you know, that's not something I've had to, like, deal with personally on my own. It was interesting, though, because even though New Warriors was supposed to be a full season and the cast went to Comic-Con and everything, what ended up happening, unfortunately, was they shot a pilot and then nothing. Basically, I think Freeform said they didn't have enough time in their schedule to do it, and they gave it back to Marvel, and then Marvel, like, just sort of dropped it. In the end, I kind of dodged a bullet. If I had gotten the job, the contract would have actually limited me from a lot of stuff. I can't say specifics, but because I didn't get the part, you know, I was free to do whatever I wanted. Because again, those actors signed on with the plan that, okay, yeah, we're going to shoot a pilot and then we're going to shoot the full season shortly after. With that, I was actually prepared to, if I had to, I had talked to my wife, Anne Marie. I was like, hey, if I get this job, are we going to move to Los Angeles, like, in a month? Like, can we do that impromptu? And after a discussion, we decided, yeah, like, if it came to it, then we would do it. So once I didn't get the job, then it became a conversation of, well, we were about to move anyway, and I feel like that's a sign that maybe it's time to move, because for me at the time, I was really eager to, you know, advance in my voiceover career. In the end, it was a happy ending for me, though, because about, I think, a year later, I was contacted by my now agent at CAA, where I am now. And this was actually right before I was planning to move to Los Angeles anyway. And I was asked to join their agency, and I was fully represented. So, you know, looking back on it now, it's this weird sort of surreal moment of my life of like, wow, I was that close to being potentially in a Marvel sitcom that could have potentially been like part of the cinematic universe. But in the end, it only got a pilot, and, you know, I wish all those people the best, but I managed just fine, you know. So I think for me, it's something where, you know, anytime I'm ever in that situation, and I have been in that situation since, where it's been me and a couple other guys, or me and one other guy for, you know, voiceover or whatever. But I always think to myself, but, you know, if it was meant to be, then it will happen, you know? And chances are you may be disappointed by not getting one thing, but you never know what else will come down the path the other way. Yeah, so that's how I was almost in the MCU, technically. With that said, Marvel, if you're looking for, I don't know if Genki Lee is gonna show up at any point, I'm available. Anyway, bye.